today, and I will turn it over to Dr. Bernal or Shannon, either one.
So really, this is just the final step in being able to submit our integrated guidance, our 25-27 integrated guidance application by tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline. And part of that is that the board approves the initial application for submission. We presented the integrated guidance plan last week at our regularly scheduled board meeting. And we are seeking approval to approve our initial application and plan so we can submit tomorrow by the deadline. And also, if there's any questions, we are here to answer your questions as well.
I do have one question, and thanks, Cindy, for sending out all the information related to this integrated guidance plan. And I guess my big overarching, I mean, I can tell a lot of work and effort obviously went into this. There's a ton of information related to all this. And I think what I'm struggling with is like within the document, there's a variety of acronyms, all obviously, ODE related. And so like what I'm struggling is, how do we or me as a board member be able to kind of explain what all of this vast information to a parent if they ask, hey, what's the big deal but integrated guidance? What's the high level executive summary that we can say it's X, Y, and Z, very kind of summary form, very simplistic, just to be able to kind of explain it, because it's, like I said, it's a ton of information. And if a parent just asks, that's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm not looking for an answer tonight. I think something for us to think about, like, yes, this is a big effort, ODE driven, but how do we explain to parents, what's the big deal behind the integrated guidance, right? And just how do we concisely be able to convey that, if just in a conversation?
I think one of the talking points is what integrated guidance did was took 6 or 7 grant that used to be all separate grant application processes and streamlined it into one integrated guidance plan. So it includes student investment account, high school success, CTE Perkins, early indicator intervention systems, chronic absenteeism, there's a couple more.
Early literacy.
Yeah, early literacy. Yes. And basically embedded those all into one plan. So it's all encompassed under one plan instead of districts having to apply and submit separate applications and plans for all of these things. They are now all combined into one integrated plan. And the best way to also explain, like, well, what's in North Wasco's plan, I think the best thing to pull out from there is the plan summary, because that really highlights pulls out all the highlights of our plan, and where we're focusing our efforts. And Shannon, if you have anything to add, please do. But I think the plan summary best gives an overview of North Wasco's plan specifically. But if you're talking about what is integrated guidance, yeah, it used to be all these separate plans and applications that districts had to do, and the ODE streamlined that process and incorporated them into one integrated plan. Does that make sense?
It does to me, only because I'm, more immersed in it, right? But that's just one of the things, as I was kind of going through all the documents, is like, wow, this is a ton of information. But if I'm just, a parent that may not be as in tune with the lingo, the acronyms, all that, like, what am I really taking away? And as most parents probably think, right, what's this mean for my personal kiddo that may be in the building? So that's kind of where my mind was going, is just,
and I think one
how do we
thing
explain that better?
Yeah, I think one thing we can do, so because what's going to happen next is the plan gets submitted, and then ODE reviews our plan, and then they'll come back to us with feedback, and they'll say, like, oh, you need to fix this, or oh, you need to add this, or oh, we're missing this document. So they'll come back with feedback, right? And then we'll have a time period of where we're fixing all the things that they want us to fix and getting it finalized. And then it'll come back to the board for a final approval. And I think though, once we have our plan, it's final and approved both at the ODE and by the school board, we could have, for purposes of like, because it'll be posted on our website and stuff and whatnot. And yes, the plan is lengthy to go through. We could have our communications director just work on like some high level details of our plan that are just quick and easy. So that's easy to do. And we can have that available on our website and available for parents and all of you if you want it to just as talking points.
That'd be good.
Yeah, happy to do that.
These PDF that you have really, I think the way those are worded are not necessarily filled with educational jargon, like some of the application is, and but it's almost a one-pager. Gives that comes and the strategies that we are using or that we are implementing in order to achieve this outcome.
Oh, we lost her. Hopefully she rejoins.
She said she was driving.
Okay.
Yeah, I think along with Jose's point, Jose, that's a great point. You know, that deeper level look that we're getting at it with all the acronyms and everything it's beneficial. And I understand that, you know, Dr. Bernal, it's this integrated plan that ODE is combining. And so there's a lot of boxes that we have to check in order to stay in alignment with what they're suggesting. But I think to Jose's point, I think what would be great, and maybe you've got this in the plans for like communicating the rollout of it, but what's the elevator pitch for integrated guidance that parents can say, all right, 3-4 sentences of what this means for our district and our kiddos is going to be really helpful.
Yep. And we can do that. That's no problem. I just suggest we do it after the plan's finalized and approved. That way, if there's any changes in between. But yeah, I think the simple explanation for now is like, hey, this is a ODE taking a bunch of different plans, putting them into one integrated plan that covers a lot of different areas. Some are funded, some are not. And it's a requirement. And it's done on a 2-year biennium. So it's a 2-year plan. And it's tied to goals and outcomes and tied to our longitudinal performance growth targets. And tied to specifically how you can spend the dollars, right? Because student investment account has very specific goals that you have to spend that money on, and high school success has very different elements to it. So, but yeah, happy to do that. I've taken that down, and I'll work with Stephanie on that. Any other questions?
All right, if there's no more questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Then I will make the motion to approve the 2025-2027 integrated guidance plan for the North Wasco County Consortium as presented at the April 24th, 2025 school board meeting.
This is second. This is John Nelson.
Okay, motion by Director Aparicio, seconded by Director Nelson. All in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
This is John. Aye.
You got that, Cindy? Right. Any opposed, say no. Any abstain? Looks like motion passes.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. If that's everything, then
Thank
we'll
you all. Sorry about my
adjourn this-
sound.
adjourn this meeting, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye.